top story this morning, we're talking Lakers, and the king is an NBA champion again. The Lakers rolling over the Heat in Game 6. LeBron James named Finals MVP for the 4th time in his career. LeBron now the first player ever to win the award for 3 different franchises. Also the second oldest Finals MVP. Here is the king on what it all means to him.
We just want our respect. Rob wants his respect. Coach Vogel wants his respect. Our organization wants their respect. Laker Nation wants their respect. And I want my damn respect, too.
If only he was a little clear on what exactly he wants. Nick, what was your reaction to LeBron's comments after the win last night?
Yeah, he damn well should, and he damn well deserves it. Like, we'll do the LeBron Jordan stuff later, another day, but here's what's inarguable. No one has ever done what he's done. You want to argue someone's better, you're wrong, but fine. But no one has ever done what he's done, and no one in sports history has done what he's done, and yet continually still been doubted year after year. You could say game after game. We don't even need to rehash the folks who said the Blazers could give them trouble, or the Rockets could give them trouble, or the Nuggets got them right where they want them, down 3-1. Just go to the commentary after Game 5, after another playoff run where LeBron is reminding everyone he's the best player in the world, after another playoff run where he takes his team further or as far as any player in the history of the league could take him. At the moment Game 5 ends, we're relitigating the same nonsense we've been relitigating for a decade. Is he clutch? Should he have taken the shot? Did he shy away from the moment? Forget the fact that he has more playoff buzzer beaters than every player in history, the same as Michael and Kobe combined. Can LeBron be trusted to score in the biggest moments? He has scored more points in the playoffs than anyone ever. And yet, when you talk about the best scorers ever, people bring up Kevin Durant or Kobe or MJ before him. LeBron James went to the Miami Heat. They hadn't won a playoff series in 4 years. They won a title within 2. He went back to the Cavs. They hadn't been a 500 team since he left. They won a title within 2 years. He goes to the Lakers. They're in the worst stretch in the history of their franchise. They win a title within 2 years. And it's still controversial to say he's the greatest player ever, when he obviously is. It's controversial, Brandon, to say he's the most clutch player ever, when all the numbers back that up. And so, yeah, the king says put some respect on his crown. And a 4th title probably ain't going to get it done. But a 5th and a 6th might, and I think that's on deck as well, Brandon.
Wow, okay. Yeah, first off, congratulations to the king. What he's done is remarkable. He's proven that he's one of the most dominant, most consistent, smartest players ever to take the court. But you and the king, Nick, need to get comfortable with this uncomfortable debate of who's the GOAT. It's not going anywhere, and it will never change, because you got to look at MJ and what he was able to do on and off the court. I mean, he galvanized the culture. He set a trend in the culture around what he did with these shoes and just his approach to life, his approach to the game. He was bigger than life. And then when you look on the court, yes, the king has done some amazing things, but are we going to deny what MJ has done? Some things that has never been done before and may never be done again? You know, you look at some of the biggest categories, MVP, finals MVP, number of titles. Like, that is real, and that needs to be validated. This discussion isn't going anywhere. It reminds me of a story in the Bible in Corinthians where Peter talks about this thorn in his side. And as you know, if there's a thorn in your side, you want to take it out because it's uncomfortable, it's hurt, it's painful, it's annoying. But Peter then said, leave that thorn in my side because it reminds me to continue to be great and continue to get up and try to put my best foot forward. And for LeBron, MJ, in this discussion of being the GOAT is that thorn in his side, because there comes a time in a player's life where you've done everything. LeBron has done everything. There's nothing to prove to anybody else. Once you have all the money, you have all the fame, you're making movies, you're a global icon because of what you're doing in a global pandemic and what you're doing around racial tension really leading the way. So when you think about how great LeBron is, he could have easily shut it down. He could have easily been one of those players that said, well, I'm not going to go put up those 200 shots today. No, I'm not going to eat that, and you'll like this, Jenna. I'm not going to eat that baked chicken and broccoli for lunch and dinner for the next 3-4 months to get prepared for the 17th season. What LeBron is doing, he's leaning into, like, you know what, I still got something to prove, so he needs to continue to embrace this, because this conversation, Wilds, isn't going anywhere else.
Real quick, Brandon, you know what else he could have done? Walked away from the game twice because he got burnt out. He could have done that too.
That's
he
right.
Decided not to.
That's right.
Not
That's
everybody
right.
did that.
That's right.
Wilds,
That's right.
Wilds,
that's right.
Your wife made the documentary when MJ said that's what happened. When MJ says, I'm burnt out. I'm tired of it. Like, we can't roll our eyes. That's what happened.
Hold on. What happened?
The day-to-day.
Is this breaking news? What?
No, everybody. Wild's wife made that documentary, but you can't roll your eyes at the history of it. The scrutiny, the day-to-day grind. MJ needed to walk away. That's a fact. That's something LeBron is yet to have to do. Wilds.
Nick, I didn't have all this information like that. I see why it's biased, right? You know, you got this MJ jersey. You didn't tell me all of this. You know MJ personally.
Oh, exactly right.
All right, go ahead, Wild.
Jenna, this is the worst job. This is like, I like LeBron, and this guy, I like LeBron a lot. And this guy paints me into the corner where I have to fight out. Like, I like LeBron. What am I had a nice LeBron take, and then you force me in, you start beating me up. I like LeBron. I thought what he did was amazing, and I appreciate LeBron. Now you got to make me defend the Jordan stuff. Here's what I think is most interesting about LeBron. I'm going to be positive. Hold on a second. He makes it work. All we hear from other teams are excuses. Well, like Celtics, like, oh, you know, Gordon Hayward, this and that. And the Sixers, like, oh, I don't know, Ben doesn't shoot enough threes, and the Clippers don't have enough chemistry, and Lou Williams is eating wings. It's just there's excuses for everybody. But LeBron goes in, and he makes it work. And my favorite thing is bloom where you're planted. LeBron's like, what do I got? I'm going to make it work. AD, you've won 5 playoff games total in your career. Now you're a champion. Dwight Howard, last time we saw you were playing 9 games with the Wizards. You're a champion. Rondo, signed 2 one-year deals. He's kind of old, can't shoot. Well, he turns into championship Rondo thanks to LeBron. JR hadn't played in 612 days. Now he's running around with his shirt off again. Frank Vogel got fired by the Pacers, got fired by the Magic for only winning 54 games and 110 losses. He's a champion. JaVale McGee's now got 3 rings. He's a champion. All of this without Avery Bradley. So the fact that LeBron, I'm not saying that he carries these guys, but he's able to get the best out of everyone. And this was not the ideal situation for him either. Just like it wasn't the ideal situation for the Clippers, and it wasn't the ideal situation for Denver, and it wasn't ideal for the Sixers, and it wasn't ideal for the Bucks. It's not ideal for anybody, and LeBron makes it work. That's what I was most impressed by, Nick.
And for the audience, to be fair, Wilds is, I did put Wilds in a rough spot there. I didn't mean to. I apologize. So yeah, it's fair. I think it's just a tertiary bitterness from the Jordan doc, I think. But regardless, it's not your fault. All right. So, but a few other things here. Folks can do LeBron James impressions for abbreviated periods of time. We even saw Jimmy do it on the same court as him. Jimmy played in a closeout playoff game where LeBron was full throttle, 40, 13, and 7 on 75% shooting. That's what LeBron did on Friday. And he lost, in part because Jimmy was so great. And do you know what that performance did to Jimmy Butler? It ruined him for Game 6. Because doing that is not supposed to be sustainable. Yet LeBron's been doing it in these moments for a decade. Kawhi Leonard can be a great player and an all-time playoff performer. And then the first year of his career, where some of those weight of expectations, of pressure, of if you don't win, folks are going to come for you. He had to deal with that for the first time in his career. And he went 0 in a second half of a Game 7, melting down from the expectations. And the Jordan stuff, Folks can say it's unfair, but it's true. LeBron has been on the cover of magazines since he was 16 years old. He has been called a savior. He glossed himself the chosen one, so he brought some of that on himself. He has been the most talked about, most scrutinized, most dissected athlete in world history. And he has showed up every day. He has never had to walk away. He's never missed a playoff game. He's never needed a mental health break. He's never needed to decompress from all of it. And part of the legacy of Jordan is he walked away twice. And LeBron keeps showing up to work. And he keeps showing up in the last game of the season. And a hell of a lot of times in the last decade, he's ended the season holding the only two trophies that actually matter: the championship and the finals MVP. So while Jordan's cement has been dry for 20 years, Jenna, LeBron's is still wet.
Yep.
And he's still drawing his name in it, which is why this debate's going to end up being a silly one when it's all said and done.
All right, well, with that, we will call it a bubble and say it was one heck of a season.